What's going on, everybody? This is Lawrence D. Adams. This is when spirituality and the game combines. You have the thinking class. We're live right now. Let's get it started. Today, we're talking about the game of manifestation. I actually get some things set up a little behind here. The game of manifestation. We're talking today. You don't want to miss what we're going to talk about today. The game of manifestation. And And I really want to get into the whole thing about why you do not get what you talk about. And we realize when we talk about game over here, we're talking about strategy. So let me say that again. When we talk about game, we talk about strategy. So today we're going to talk about the game of manifestation, why you don't have what you say you want. Shout out to what's going on, William, everyone in the chat room. Yesterday was bananas, but today I want to be real specific on what I'm talking about and where I'm going to go. So you want to catch what I'm about to say today. And matter of fact, what's going on, Joe Blast? Let's get this here. Let me change this. I don't like this. Let's change it to fade to black on this one. Leave background, bam, bam, bam. I like that. That's this. Cool. What's going on? So today we're talking about the game of manifestation. To manifest. The reason why you don't have what you say you want is because you don't know what you want. So yesterday I talked about it just a tad bit, just enough to wet your whistle or to get you to think about it. And I think what the problem is when we come to the game of manifestation, I think what the real problem is a lot of times you don't know what you want, or what's going on, Trav. You don't know exactly what you want. See, the issue when it comes to game of manifestation, what happens is we end up telling everyone else, telling all our friends what we don't want, what we don't want to deal with. I don't want no woman like this. I don't want no woman like that. I don't want no woman with a, I don't want this. I don't want this. I don't want that. She can't be 5'6". She got to be 5'4". You emphasize on what you don't want. What's going on, Bruce Leroy? You emphasize on what you do not want. So the game of manifestation is you got to switch to what you don't want and then begin to know what you really do want. Now, let me explain this because there's a dichotomy to this. You have to know what you don't want to really get clear on what you do want. But when your focus is just on what you don't want, guess what happens? You're going to get what you don't want. So if you can see in these spaces, everywhere you go, everybody's talking about what they don't want. I don't want this. I don't want a woman this. I don't want that. You can emphasize that all you want. And guess what's going to happen? You're going to manifest that. So let me throw a little monkey wrench in there. When you look at the situation, and I don't know the full situation with Cam Newton, he's saying what he wants. Let me say that again. With Cam Newton, he's saying what he wants. And it seems in this day and age that people have a problem, and I'm saying it, have a problem for a man to stand up and say what he really wants. And what happens is, let me say this, it takes courage to stand up and say, this is what I want. And if you do not meet my standards of what I want, I will not deal with you. I will not interact with you. I will not participate with you. What happens is we in the culture of people who want to compromise just to fit in. We're in a culture where people say, I'm a counselor because you have a preference on what you want or you stating what you want. Because everyone wants to play this whole mediocrity, be mediocre, and when everybody wants to be the same, and you can't a participation award. That's not going to cut it. Those who make a mark in this world, who change the world, are those who know exactly what they want out of life. The thing of it is, a lot of times why you don't go after what you want because you're afraid to go after what you want, or you're afraid that you won't get what you want. So what you do is you begin to settle. You begin to settle for second best. Well, she ain't all that bad. She look okay. She really, I really like a woman who can't cook, but she do bring in ramen. She do bring in a package of ramen noodles, and we put the hot water on them. You begin to settle on what you want, and you'll never, ever, 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 ever be satisfied. Never, ever be satisfied. So when it comes down to this game of manifestation, it's being very clear, unapologetic on what you want from life, women, work, situations, whoever it is, the interactions, your house, where you live. You must be very clear. See, this is unapologetically a man's channel, but I gotta say this. See, what happens is we got a lot of men who are afraid to express, and I talked about this last year, from this place called right here, from their chest. This is what I want. This is what I want. This is what I'm going after. Because you're concerned if you're gonna get validated by your friends. You're concerned if your mama gonna like it. You're concerned if your daddy and uncle and sister and brother, cousin gonna say, "Hey, guess what? That's okay." What's going on, Chris Hunt? You're more concerned about that. But the man who stands on his 10 toes down, knows exactly what he wants out of life. And as we said before in times past on the thinking class, guess what happened? The world begins to bend over and gives him what he wants. This is the game of manifestation. This is just the first lesson you must get very clear. You must be very clear on what you want out of life. Not what your friend want, not what your cousin want, not what they think you shouldn't want. You must be very clear on what you want out of life. And a lot of men, and I'm talking to the men, don't want to hear what's going on, Chris Hunt. A lot of people are not clear what they want in life, and so they settle. So when we look at Cam Newton and his whole situation, he said what he said. What's the problem? What is the problem? Can a man say what he don't want and what he does want? What is the problem? The problem is, and I'm going to say it because this applies to the game of manifestation. Society don't want you to speak up. And I'm talking to you men first. Don't want you to voice your opinion. They don't want you to voice your preference. They don't want you to voice your truth. Because if you voice your truth, we realize there's power when we speak. So it's better to keep you muted. It's better to keep you scrolling on social media. It's better to keep you unfocused so that you never, ever, ever, ever get exactly what you want. I'm telling you, I'm telling you, wasn't a problem, but they trained to be in a discussion of men preferences and accomplishment. And this is the other thing. I'm glad you just make this coming up. Let me say this too. When you decide, this is the biggest thing, and this is what a leader do. This is what men supposed to do, is decide. This is what I want. I used the example last week of the red bike. Yesterday, the red bike with the black tires, with the white walls, and the little bell to go ding, ding, ding. Once you decide on what you want, let me say this because you got to hear this. It's not the women who's going to shame you for what you want. It's not going to be the kids who's going to shame you for what you want. It may not even be your mama who's going to shame what you want. Your mammy ain't going to shame. Your grandmammy ain't going to shame you what you want. It can potentially be your own brethren who will shame you for saying this is what you want out of life. Man, you shouldn't do that, man. Ain't nobody travel out the country and live out the country. You know, they got werewolves over there. You know, if you go over to Africa, they may rob you. You know, if you go over to Brazil, you know, this may happen. You know, there's trans over there. They tell you all kind of things because they want to shame you to get back in line. How dare you want something bigger than what I'm getting going after? Ultimately, they're jealous. The jealousy man. Not all women, but most of them fall from grace. But what about that? Yeah. So I'm here to tell you, when you this is the game of manifestation. What you're going to have to really get concrete on. Get really concrete on. You got to decide what you want. Focus on what you really want. That's the part that men have to really settle in their mind. This is what I want. When I wanted this particular camera, I didn't want the other camera. I didn't want this camera. I wanted this particular camera for what I do for streaming. You decide on what you want. Think about it. You've been doing it already. Some of y'all decided to get up and go. When you get up this morning, you want to go use the bathroom. That was a decision. So it ain't a problem. You don't know how to make a decision. You just haven't made a decision. You haven't decided on what you want. What do you want from life? What do you want from people around you? What do you most of all? What in the heaven and hell do you want from you? Have you decided that? So yeah, man, they're gonna shame you. Man, you shouldn't be talking about women like that. What's going on, Mr. Adams? You getting it. No one has the right to speak to you like you call them. Right, come on. Yeah, so you got to decide what you want from life. I promise you, this is the game of manifestation. You have to say, this is what I want. You may not like it. You may not agree. Let me say it because we're in this men's little bubble is really bigger than what it is. If you decide this the particular woman you want to deal with, and she doesn't fit the quote unquote how can I say it, the standard of what men should be, don't let no other men shame you on what you decide to want. When it comes down to when you're in the bedroom, it's going to be you and her anyway. I'm not going to be there. The people who are talking there ain't going to be there. I don't give a rat's behind. If that's what you want, baby boy, go for what you know. That is the power of the game of manifestation. This is just the first step. I'm telling you. Once I begin to decide this is what I want, everything began to gradually change around me. But I had to make a decision, stand on my 10 toes down. This is what I want. Then what happened? This eliminates immediately everything I do not want. Y'all see that how that works? When you decide what you want, it begins to eliminate everything that you do not want. If you want a blue car with blue interior and a blue tint, guess what happens? It eliminates you getting a car with red interior and a blue exterior. Why? Because that's not what you want. When you decide on what you want, it begins to eliminate people, situations, problems, cousins, friends, aunties, uncles, mothers, your friends down in school, your great people, your it eliminates everything because you have decided this is what you want. People will tell you what they want, but if they don't know, right? I'm just being very clear about this. This is the game of manifestation, because I'm going to go and talk some more this week about it. We're going to talk to the ladies tomorrow, but there's so much I can say about this. I'm telling you, I'm talking to you, brothers, I'm talking to you, sisters, when you get in your mind that this right here is what I want, and you're get to the place where you have conviction about it, baby, there's nothing else to say. What happens is, and now we need to step into the esoteric. Now we get into the esoteric part of it, and I want you to pay attention. The distractions, please understand what I'm about to say. You got to listen to yesterday. This is just a bill from yesterday. When you decide what you want, the distraction that comes up is only the distraction that you created. The distractions that come up on the journey of what you want, because we're going to get past want and need and all like that, is only the distraction you created out of fear. Y'all ain't ready for this. Y'all want some, y'all want some panic, some pancake, baker, man. Give me some game, and I'm still lame as I can. No. The distractions that you say that this came up, this girl just distracted me, and this one distracted me, and that one distracted me from. No, my brother. No, my sister. You, on some level, have created that distraction from what you know you wanted, because maybe on some level you were fearful that you was not going to get what you want. So what you did was, and then I'm going to tell you the process, because people ain't going to tell you this. This is the real game of manifestation. You end up creating a scenario in your mind, and so guess you create a distraction. You create when you know you need to write your book, all of a sudden everybody want to call. You know you need to accomplish something. You get a telephone call from somebody say, hey, let's go out and kick it. It's funny. Whenever you do a fast, and this is the craziest thing. Anytime you do a fast, you abstaining from food. It seemed like, I remember when I worked in accounting, and when I went into accounting, it's crazy. Every time I would I would do a fast. That's the week that they had parties. We bringing in food Fridays. Everybody, you can bring your money or you can bring some food. And this one lady named Kathy would make the best homemade cheesecake. And I'm like, man, I'm on this fast, I'm trying to do right. Why is this happening to me? This is just from the devil. This don't make any sense. It ain't no devil. It ain't none of that. It's all you. It's you. When about this letting go becomes a real easy, and you know that when to let go and go on and change or renew it's a trip. So I want you to understand. I want you see what happens is, and this somebody brought it up. I think these nuts brought it up. The Renaissance brought it up. Everyone wants to tell you what you should want. Careful. Everyone wants to tell you what you should want. You should want those blue jeans. You should want. Careful when people always have an opinion of telling you what you should want. This is separate the men from the boys. This separate the girls from the women. Is when you listen to the opinion of what they say you should want, and you make a decision on say, nah, this is what I really want. What I do is, and I'm gonna just be real clear and be very transparent, I hear it out. I don't fight with I'm not going to go back and forth. I say, you know what, let me think about that. Check what I said. Let me think about what they're saying. Because maybe I'm missing something, I could be off, whatever the case may be. Let me think about it for a minute. Does it line up on what they're saying on what I really want, or do I make an adjustment? Now, this doesn't take me off my square. It keeps me on my square, but it makes me think like, okay, yeah, you know what? This adds on to what I want. Or, you know what? I heard what you said, but this is actually taking me off what I really want. Because sometimes people, you pay attention to this, the game of manifestation, people will try to interject their wants because they, pay attention to this, don't have the faith to accomplish it. So they try to inject their wants on you to get so that you can get something that they don't believe themselves for. Do you have reasons or do you have excuses? If you want to accept that they are offering because you know your worth, right? What you want is your lane. Let me say that again. Sometimes people, this is all the game of manifestation, this is all talking about, this is a key point right here. Sometimes people would interject with you, you know what, I think you should want that. Really? Yeah. Because they don't have the goal, the cojones, to actually go after it. So they try to interject and they try to live vicariously through you the wants that they really want to accomplish, but can't accomplish and don't have the faith, or because they're in fear of accomplishment. I know I'm telling the truth. I know I'm right on the money. I'm hitting this one out the block. Tennis shoes on the telephone wires. That's where I'm at. So you got to listen carefully. That's why it's important for you to be concrete and be very deliberate on what you want. You got to be very deliberate and very concrete on what you want. And this all causes the game of manifestation, but this calls this whole side of relationship. What happens is many of you guys lose your frame when it comes to the woman, or when it comes to money, or when it comes to business, or when it comes to your job. Frame means this thing like here, frame, your frame of thinking, or what you decide you want. So she comes along, he comes along, this business come along, and it comes out of the frame that you know you need to be in. So it takes you out of your frame, and now what could have took a 7-day trip turns into a 30-year trip because you decided to go with somebody else's want and not follow what you know you needed to do. If you ever been there, you need to put if you ever been there, you need to put a number 3 in the chat room. You went along with somebody else's wants, their desires, what they thought you should do, and you went along with it. And now 3 years down the road, you ain't no further than where you were from day one. If that has happened to you, put a number 3 in the chat room, because I'll be the first one to say it happened to me. Here you didn't deal with this particular girl. Oh, she was fine. And now she didn't take you all to this. Now you way in the back of the, you ain't in the hood. You in the back of the hood. You didn't deal with this girl, whatever the case may be. Same with some women you listening, you didn't deal with this dude and he didn't take you on a trip you weren't even planning on going on to, because you neglected to verbalize and to say, this is what I want. This is where I'm going. In the game of manifestation, you have to be clear. Clear communication. This is what I want. This is not the point of assuming that the other person knows. This is not assuming that you know. Because there is a point in this game of manifestation where you do go to the point where you are in assumption, but you got to be very clear. We all been there. They didn't told you, didn't sold you this whole, if you do what I say do, and they put their one on you next to you, you 5 years down the road dealing with somebody you shouldn't have been dealing with, that you really didn't want, but you became comfortable because it was convenient. Telling you, the game of manifestation starts here. Your decision to know exactly what you want out of life. This will eliminate a whole bunch of YouTubians, Facebookians, Instagramians, all of this right there. It will eliminate all that. Because for once in your life, you have decided what you want. For once in your life, you stop focusing on what you don't want, and you begin to focus on what you want. Stay away from those convenient women. Come on, y'all. They like the 7-Eleven. Same for you women. You can get these convenient men and convenient women, and what happens is you end up getting a quick snack, and you could have been in Morton's. You could have been in the Group Chris eating filet mignon, but you chose to go to something that was convenient, and it never, ever satisfy you. Putting someone before yourself, in my opinion, is only accepted if it is your child, period. So I'm telling you, Rob, this is the game of manifestation that a lot of people do not talk about. So I'm just breaking it down because I got to get this piece out of here. I got to share this piece of it. You got to decide on what you want. Got to decide on what you want. There's no compromising with this. There's no, I don't know. If you wavering about it, I don't know. If you wavering between two opinions of what your friends said and what the family say, you ain't ready. Think about it. When it comes to manifestation, we manifest every day. And what I mean by this, we decide on something like, you know what? I want a burger. You don't think about it. You don't complain about it. You want a cheeseburger with, I like onions on there, a little light mayo, mustard, ketchup, bam, little secret sauce, whatever that may be. I like the kind of burger I want. I may eat the bun and I may not eat the bun. I'm getting away from eating the bun for some reason. I may eat the bun, but I know what I want. I don't think about it. I don't complain about it. I don't know where. Then the next thing I do without thinking about it, I get in the car and I may be doing something over here, going shopping, going checking out something. Oh, there's the burger place over there. Ding! That's how easy manifestation is when you decide. See, this is where you men get in trouble because women are looking for you to make a decision. This is where, and she's looking to help multiply you, but you have not decided on what she can multiply in your life. Let me say that again. This is where you men, you men folks, you on YouTubians, you Facebook guys, and I'm tough and I'm alpha, I'm sigma, I'm beta, I'm zeta, I'm omega, you all these things. But the issue comes while you ain't winning in life, because I don't, whether you like it or not, I don't care if she has a degree or don't have a degree, if she's intelligent or don't have an intelligence, she is looking at you. Are you able to make a decision? Are you able to make a decision? Are you able to say, this is the way we going, and if you with it or you ain't? I don't want to hear no more excuses where these guys are raised by their mamas. I don't want to hear that no more. There's enough content out here. There's enough YouTube channels and Instagram places. I don't want to hear that about that's excuses now. Well, these guys are weak right now. I don't want to hear no more these guys are weak anymore. At the end of the day, a woman is looking, can you make a decision? But you know what some of you guys do? Well, what we gonna eat? Whatever you want to eat. Wherever you want to go. She's looking, are you able to make a decision? Because if you can't make a decision on the small things, how in the heaven are you going to make a decision on manifesting something if you can't even decide on whether you're going to go to McDonald's or Burger King or Wendy's or Chick-fil-A or this? You that indecisive. You that indecisive. How can you really expect a woman to follow the leader when the leader can't make a decision? Even if he knows it's right or wrong, he can't make a decision. This all plays a part in the game of manifestation. Once you decide what you want, and I'm bringing the relationship side so you guys can get it. Once you decide what you want, the woman has an option either to get along or to get off. She either get on the pot or she gets off the pot. That's why it's so important when it comes to the game of manifestation that you make a decision. And what happens is a lot of guys, because the game of manifestation you get all twisted up and crazy, is because they have not exercised the muscle of making decisions, and even hard decisions. So that's why the world is giving you everything it wants, because you have not exercised your ability to what? Make decisions. You got to make a decision. You got to stick by your decision. You got to admit that you made the wrong decision. But you need to exercise your ability to make decisions, because when you exercise your ability to make decisions, you start the first step of manifestation, knowing what you want. Knowing what you want. Then it takes to the place, now that you know exactly what you want, it leads to what we talked about yesterday. You get out of the place of want and desire, and you get into the place of, I've already had this. I'm enjoying whatever it is. There's no strain, no struggle. I am enjoying it. The example of the bike, the red bike with the black tires and white walls and a little ringy thing, ding, ding, ding. You made a decision, this is the bike that you want. But now you need to get past the point of want and desire and begin to get into the feeling of enjoying the bike that you have. Did you catch that? That you get into the feeling that, you know what, this bike is amazing. You know, when I was riding it down the street the other day, see, I'm talking about it like I already have it. Already have it. I'm enjoying it right now. You know, I was riding down the street in this red bike, and you know what? This bike is amazing. You know what? It has brakes on it, and you know what? I was telling somebody about. See, I'm in the place of I'm enjoying, and when I ride the bike, I feel so at peace. It helps me to lose weight. It helps me to focus on what I need to focus on. You see, I'm in the place because I made a decision. Now I go to the end of already having the bike. Hence, it comes to the scripture in Hebrews 11:1. Hebrews 11:1 says, faithful to some things hoped for and the evidence of things not seen. So you get into the place of faith that you already have it. So you get out of the 3D world of what you see right here, and you go into the fourth dimension where you are actually participating, enjoying what is yours. Let me slow it down because I don't want to I want to get y'all out there too much. If you have questions, you can ask. This is a good place to ask questions. How do you get over the feelings of feeling like you're lying? Well, good question. How do you get over the feeling of feeling that you're lying? You get over the feeling of feeling like you're lying is when you realize you first accept, I feel like this is not true. I feel like I'm lying about it. And this is not fake it till you make it. No, I ain't talking that. This is actually what you do anyway. When you feel like you're lying, you have to realize, you have to acknowledge it, and you got to realize, why am I having this feeling of resistance to what is already mine? Why am I having a resistance to what is already mine? Why do I feel that it's lying and then the reason why you may feel like you're lying, because on some level, you don't feel you deserve what you said you wanted, and you got out of want and you got out of desire and you got to the place that you already have it. You don't feel you deserve it. Do you feel like you're lying when it comes, and then it's the other thing. You don't feel you deserve it. Second of all, you don't feel you deserve it, but the other thing is you're putting a lot of value on whatever it is that is either bigger or smaller. There's no difference, and this is so true. There's no difference from manifesting a button than manifesting some clothes. The only difference is the person who believes in their perception of it. So you have any more questions? That's a good question. So how do you get out of the feeling of this line? You acknowledge the feeling. Then you go a little deeper and say, why? Wait. Why am I focusing on the feeling of that is lying? Why am I focusing on that? Why am I digesting that? Why am I looking at that? Why am I allowing my feelings to dictate that make me feel like I'm lying? Let me focus back over to the end. I have it. I already have what I have it. Give you an example. The Nevilles. Nevilles came to the master teacher up in New York. Didn't have no money, was staying in the basement apartment, didn't have nothing. But his family wanted him to come to Barbados. And I'm going to break it down just a little bit. So he told, I forgot his name. He told him, he said, Abdullah. He said, Abdullah, hey, I want to go to Barbados. He said, well, you're in Barbados. He said, man, what are you talking about, man? What are you talking about, cuz? He said, you are in Barbados. He said, what? You're in Barbados. So he went and thought about it. He said, how is Abdullah telling me I'm in Barbados? His desire was to be there with his family and to spend time with them, Barbados. So he went through the whole gyration of feelings and how am I going to get there and what I'm going to do and how is it. See, the how is none of your business. When it's going to take place is none of your business. So Nevilles went through this for a month. So he went back and said, well, you guess what, Abdullah? My brother sent a ticket, but it's for third class to go to Barbados. He said, who said you were going third class to Barbados? First class, Barbados, and slammed the door in his face. So by that time, Nevilles in turn beat red, like, yo, man, this guy, who this guy think he is telling me to come telling me like this, that I'm in Barbados and I'm going first class. I don't have a lick of money. I got a ticket now. I got a ticket. My brother done sent some money up for me to get some clothes, and I got a ticket in his third class, but he said I'm going first class. I said, all right. I'm learning this thing. Let me change my perception. I got the ticket now. I got something tangible, but first class, all right, bro, I'm gonna go. So he gets down to the boat in New York and the trip to go to Barbados. And as he's giving his ticket to the ticket person say, hey, you're Neville's Garter? Yep, I'm Neville's Garter. What is interesting, the seat that you have has been upgraded to first class. He said, really, how'd that happen? Well, the lady who had it at the last minute backed out, and we have a spot just for you, first class. Point of the story is he decided on what he wanted. He decided on what he wanted. Did he waver? Did he feel like he was lying? Yeah, he felt like he was lying. Did he feel like, I don't know how this is going to work out? His brother out of the blue said, hey, I'm going to send you money and send you a ticket, but it was for third class. But when he went back to the master teacher, Abdullah, and said, hey, Abdullah said, yo, man, I got the ticket, but it said third class. Who told you would go in third class as first class? And slammed the door in his face. He had to really reason himself like, wait a minute, bruh, who are you talking to like that? You know, everything started coming, you started rising up. But he realized what Abdullah was teaching is to stick to your decision on what you want. And if you might have think the third class is what you should have got, but you should be going first class because that's who you are. So when he did that, he had to go to the fact that he was in Barbados, not how he was going to get there. If his mama was going to call him, if his brother, the how is none of your business. This would get people jacked up. The how it's going to take. I didn't know how I was going to get to Genesis. I had no clue, but I know I seen it a couple months before. Like, ooh, that thing cold. But the how, I had less than a week to get everything together and fly out to Miami with no guarantees that I would get the car that I seen 3 months prior, and then how I was going to get it back. What did I have to do? I had to step out and face the car belonged to me. I know what color I wanted. I wanted the green one. Greenish blue, so you can tell if it's green or you can't tell if it's blue. I know what interior I wanted. It was right there. Did it feel like was I nervous? Yeah, I was nervous. But I think about it, but once I get past all my feelings, say, you know what? When I got on the plane, I say, you know what? It's a done deal. I got this. The how is none of your business. This is what gets you messed up when the game of manifestation. 1, you have not decided on what you want. 2, you're focused on everything you don't want. 3, you're trying to figure out the how. The how is none of your Mickey, thank you, Grandma, Mickey Ficky business. In the theater, when you break the fourth wall, you talk directly to the audience and say, do you get it? The manifestation of what you want is where you ask yourself if you're observing it is you, right? So let me make sure I emphasize it. The how is none of your business. How it takes place is none of your business. And we all work together. See, the thinking class is strategic when it comes to the game of manifestation. The game of manifestation. I want you to realize, I told you last year that I wanted to get a MacBook Pro with the M1 chip. How it was going to take place, I have no clue. But it's something that came at the end of the year. I ended up getting a kickback from some money. How much money was it? It was enough and more to pay for a MacBook Pro M1 chip. The how is none of, get the how out of the way. Thank you. Figure out why instead of how. So get all the hows. Well, how this gonna take place? What if she don't call me? How? You in the place of always how. And then what you doing is you're getting in the way of God of doing what he needs to do. Because you're trying to figure out how. The how is none of your business. Your business is to be at the end of the fulfillment of what you said that you want. That's the real game of manifestation. That's the real game of manifestation. We ain't talking no spooky ooh, and walking on clouds and all like that. You do it every day, all day. You manifest every day. We are that's the real game, conscious creators. This is all this is about. Conscious creators, you create every day. You don't know how all the time, but you know it works. I'm just giving you the behind the scenes, pulling the covers back and say, hey, be conscious on what you create. The how is none of your business. None of your business. What is your business is the end result. Now, let me say this, make sure I'm very clear on what I'm saying. Not the end result is not you getting the particular item. It is the end result of how it feels to have the item. So you're not thinking of the item, you're thinking from already possessing the item. Two different places. You got to watch this from the beginning. So you got to think about it. You got to look at it from the place of not obtaining, but of already obtained. So you have to get into the state of I got it. Not the how, but why do you need this to take place? Once that is in place, the piece of the puzzle can form right. So you got to get to the place of, you know what? I'm at the end. You're looking at the you're not riding the red bike with the black tires and the white walls with the little bell. No, you're actually talking to somebody and say, hey, that's my bike over there. So you're in a state of already fulfilled by it. Fulfilled. You're satisfied. You got it already. You're enjoying it. You're in that state of mind, mindset, frame. I got this. That's what we did last year. I already have it. Now we got to get past the point of already have it. Past the point of already having it, I'm enjoying it. You have to get in such the feeling that this, man, you know what? I got this. But then it leads me to what I'm going to talk about tomorrow. What trips everybody up is the how, but it's something else. I trust the process and accept the outcome. That's how I got the laptop. I didn't know how, but I knew it would happen. I got it for nothing. The manifestation of it came to me through my kids' help. See, my point exactly. You do it every day. The how, I gotta emphasize this. You gotta decide on what you want, not focus on what you don't want. Third of all, you have to get the how out of the way. How it's gonna happen? Think about it. I'm giving you another example. When my first son was born, me and my wife at the time, the children of my mother, of my two sons, we know we wanted to get a house, so we were in the process of getting a house and everything like that. And then, boop, she got pregnant. I'm like, dog, man, what are you gonna do? In my mind, I begin to freeze up. Like, I got this job. I'm working. I just moved into this new position at work. I'm working in accounting for Fortune 500 company. I was like, what's going on, Riley? And I'm like, what do I do? I was. What happens is when you get into the place of how, you begin to become paralyzed. Let me say that again. When you get into the place of how, you begin to become paralyzed. And I was like, man, I got this baby, I got this mortgage, I got this going on, I got that going on. Okay, we're gonna lose money for a little bit. Yes, you need to plan. Don't get me wrong, don't get it twisted. Don't get out here and be like, I'm just gonna trust in faith and I'm gonna do it. Don't you do no crazy stuff like that. But I was stuck in the how. I was stuck in the how. So what I did was, I said, man, I went forward, me and my wife at the time, and went on and got the house. We looked at each other, we sat in the papers like, yeah, is she pregnant? Where did she lose? We was like, because we knew we had to prepare for arrival of my son, Destin. So the how only began to open up when I realized I was already in the place of preparing for what? a child to come. And I was doing stuff not to make it happen, because that's what get a lot of people in trouble too. You trying to make the manifestation happen. Well, I'm gonna help it out a little bit. Let me throw a little water on it. Let me do this. No. You live at the end that you already have it. So as I begin to move that, we got the house. I end up getting one of the kids from my Sunday school class at the time to actually paint the room. We painted because it needed to be painted because he was a boy. Had a leak in the ceiling, had to get that fixed. What's going on, Blackjack? So I had to do all that in order what? To get the how out the way. And everything began to open up. We got gifts, things began to take place. This money came from theirs. Why? Because I was already at the end of holding my little baby boy, Destin Lawrence Adams, holding him. And the how was none of my business on how it was going to take place. I already have it. It's up to you to create the framework for manifestation to slot into. That goes for jobs, goals, and relationship. What's going on? You have a house in your future, but once your why appears, the house has a place for it to live. Correct. And let me say this, so even with the house, because somebody even on here is looking to get a house. If you're looking to get a house, you got to decide that you want a house first. But let me give you the secret, and I got to go. You're going to get an angel number. You have to sleep in the house already while you have no house. Let me say that again. You have to go to sleep in the house while on the physical plane, you have no house. So every time you get up before you get up, you're waking up in your new house. When you go to sleep at night, you go to sleep in your new house. You get full of the feeling that is already done. It's interesting as you begin to do this and you begin full of the feeling that is what? That is done. Guess what happens is you happen to talk to a friend who happens to be in the real estate. Or somebody say, you know what, they got a house that's on sale, but they're looking for somebody to buy it. Things begin to frame and to come together like Voltron, like Transformers begin to transform for you. When you decide on what you want and get your how out the way, and you live at the end. This is the key to what? This is the key to manifestation, the game to manifestation. Now, tomorrow I'm going to share something that stops manifestation dead in its track. The how is one thing to stop it, but this right here stops manifestation dead in its tracks when you do this. Second of all, let me say this too. Let me say this too. The game of manifestation is very simple. You manifest every day, you whether you know it or not. And we do have some work that you're going to do at home. Homework. But sometimes, and I'm talking to you brothers, you're thinking too small and not big enough. I didn't say realistically, I didn't say you're thinking too small. And so what happens is your ability to manifest needs to be worked or needs to be exercised, and you need to dream bigger. You need to go after something that's bigger. You're dreaming, you're thinking too small. And when you do that, it stops it. I bet it's going to be a talk about, it's about fear. Yeah, fear is one of the things to stop it, but it's something else to stop the game of manifestation right in this track. And they get all these YouTube and everybody get it. Everybody gets it. But you got to dream really big. You need to really get some kahunas about yourself and really say, this is what I want. Got to get out there. But this one thing tomorrow we're going to talk about is going to, Jonathan W., put the, Jonathan W., I need you to put the angel number in the chat room. You have the angel number today. Jonathan W., you have the angel number. But this one thing actually inhibits and stops because you're trying to figure it out when it's already been worked out. But this one thing tomorrow we're going to talk about for Women's Wednesday, it stops it. It is while you in the midst of, yeah, I'm in my new house. Hey, I'm in my new house. I got the house. Yeah. You at the dancing. You in your mind, you getting the feeling, you got the music going, you bopping with it. Bop, 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 bop. You're getting down, you dancing. Yeah, I'm in my house. I'm in my house. One thing stops you dead in your track. 513 is the number. Stops you right in your track. We talked about the one thing was the how. The other thing, as Blackjack came in later, it was your fear stopping you. What if it don't work? What if I don't get it? And then the other thing is you don't feel you deserve it. But this one little thing right here, it gets everybody all jacked up. It gets them jacked up, man. You get them really jacked up. Just one little thing, what happens is you go on a rampage when I'm gonna do more affirmations, and I am who I say I am. I can have whatever I say I can have, but I can do whatever I said I can do. This thing is mine. It's mine. You doing all the affirmations, and all you doing, you got things pasted everywhere. You doing everything you try to do to make it happen, make it work. And this one little thing is saying, baby boy, you ain't doing nothing until you let go of this. One little thing. Woo, boy, y'all on it today. Look at this. Y'all both on this. Jesus. You have to take the risk, step out your comfort zone with conviction. Oh, this is something else. Tomorrow we're going to talk. Let me read this angel number because they both have it today. Angel number 513 suggests that the changes around and are ahead of you have been manifested in order to transfer your life to a better in many ways. Y'all on it today. Woo, boy. He said the same thing. I'm reading it again. Suggests that the changes around and ahead of you have been manifested in order to transfer your life from better in many ways. Trust that those changes are for your highest good. Y'all are going today. Angel number 513 wants you to release the anger and failure of your past. Let go of all the negative energy. Woo, boy, y'all got double trouble, triple trouble. Whoa, double threat. Y'all getting it today. But this one thing we need to talk about tomorrow that cause a hang up in your manifestation. I face it sometimes. I have to deal with it sometimes. But the moment I take care of this one particular situation we're going to talk about tomorrow, it's like a manifestation happens like boop, 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 like man. And if you really, I'm not telling nobody to play the number. We don't condone gambling in any kind of way. I'm just saying you play at your own risk. You're playing your own little risk now. But I'm just saying that is what I'm going to share tomorrow is the reason why Sharice hit the lottery multiple times from the thinking class. they may turn out to be the answer to your prayers. Right. Oh, doubting yourself. That's not believing you just not deserve it. That we talked about that today. But this one, how do we do it in the church? Is one little thing. This one thing. Tomorrow we gotta talk about this 131 that's holding you back. It's got you by the coattail. It's got you by a hook. Oh, comparing yourself to others in the process of manifestation. So the homework, so everybody gets it, because I know everyone has to. The homework is, and it's very simple. Envious manifestation. Oh, y'all want to know, but I'll tell you tomorrow. You'll be like, oh, LDA, is that? Oh man. You have to, I want you to manifest, go out and manifest either $1, a cup of coffee, or your favorite beverage. So you pick between $1, cup of coffee or a drink, whatever the case may be, or see coffee, $1, or something that's a nickel. Let me say that again. So you got 3 things. You can manifest all 3 things. You choose the 3 things that you want. You got to manifest. So you got to go and manifest a nickel, either a nickel, you drink coffee or beverage, $1. That's the homework. I didn't say when it has to be done, but I want you to practice what we talked about already. I want you to practice what we talked about already. You want $1, a cup of coffee, or a nickel. It can be either one or it can be all 3. So you go to the process I'm talking about. You don't think about how. You don't think about when. See yourself, and don't go in your wallet. Hey man, that was easy. I went into my wallet and pulled out $1. Don't do that. That ain't what I'm talking about. You manifest. You see someone giving you $1, or you find $1 on the ground. You see yourself with that $1, either a nickel, $1, or a cup of coffee. You don't drink coffee. It could be a beverage. So that is the homework. I didn't say when it was going to be due. I'm saying I want you to see you exercise your manifestation muscles, because this is the game of manifestation. Ain't no need to talk about it and feel good and, ooh, I feel good about it, man. You talking that stuff, man. Don't get into a whole thing about, you can start $1. I'm telling you how to do it already. I'm giving you the open book test right now. See yourself with the $1, the nickel, or the cup of coffee, or like for me, I like chai tea with almond milk. Heat it up. See yourself getting that, receiving that. Make sure I emphasize that. And that is the homework for today. This is Lawrence D. Adams.
You can't make this up.
What? You can't?
You can't make this up. You can't make this up.
See you guys later. This is Lawrence D. Adams. And we out. Peace and beer grease. See you on the flip side.